We now move on to our first session, which has a number of heads of organization of space agencies from our member states. And this session is titled Space Science, Earth Environment and Humans. And this will be moderated by Dr. Mohamed Sharif. Thank you all for being here with us, and it's been a pleasure moderating the first opening session with you all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It is really a great privilege to be with you all and share the podium on this esteemed Global Space Science Forum 2021. It is exciting to see again today a very diverse group of participants from different backgrounds to participate in this consequential forum and work together to shape ICESCO's renewed vision for science and technology. It is pertinent to mention that this session is under the theme of relationship of space, space science, earth and environment, and human beings on it. Excellencies are gathered from specialized international organizations and institutions which include UAE Space Agency, Azercosmos, Saudi Space Commission, National Space Science Academy, Kingdom of Bahrain, MYSA, Malaysia, and Royal Jordanian Geographical Center, Jordan, to share the experiences and visions about space sciences, innovations, and related industries. This session aims to exchange knowledge, target to overcome challenges, accelerate economic growth, and explore the job opportunities for young graduates in aerospace industries. Ladies and gentlemen, let me have an opportunity to introduce the first speaker of this session, His Excellency Salem Butti Salem Al-Qubaisi, Director General, UAE Space Agency. He is present today with us in this hall. His Excellency Al-Qubaisi is the UAE Space Agency's Director General and has more than 20 years experience in public and private sector in the leadership in military aviation, security, and defense. He is responsible for setting the agency's strategic directions, delivering on its mandate to strengthen the space sector and contribute to the nation's vision for sustainable economic growth and diversification. He served as a member of Board of Directors from 2018, providing critical oversight on operations and major projects such as Emirates Mars mission, which is a very important mission. Today, His Excellency leads the agency's ambitious efforts to encourage the development of space science and advanced technologies, set relevant regulations, and promote peaceful applications for deep space research. Your Excellency, we are very much eager to hear that how the UAE Space Agency became a reality from a dream, which is also your title of today's talk. Thank you very much for being with us. So the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome him.
Shukran. Thank you, Dr. Mohamed Sharif. Excuse me, I'll deliver my notes in Arabic. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. معالي عبد اللطيف مراوي وزير التعليم العالي والبحث والابتكار، معالي الدكتور سالم المالك مدير عام منظمة العالم الإسلامي للتربية والعلوم والثقافة. السلام عليكم الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله صباحكم بكل خير. يسعدني ويشرفني أن أشارك معكم اليوم في هذه الفعالية الهامة التي تقيمها منظمة العالم الإسلامي للتربية والعلوم والثقافة الإيسيسكو، وتستضيفها المملكة العربية المغربية الشقيقة تحت شعار استكشاف مستقبل علوم الفضاء معا. إن علوم الفضاء ميدان واسع ومجال دائم التطوير، ولا بد من التعاون الدولي فيه من أجل مستقبل أفضل للبشرية والمعرفة الإنسانية، كما أن التعاون وبناء الشراكات الاستراتيجية ممارسة تطبقها دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة منذ التأسيس قطاع الفضاء الوطني، وبعد أن جاء تأسيس وكالة الإمارات للفضاء في عام 2014 ليرسم الإطار التنظيمي الداعم لقطاع الفضاء في دولة الإمارات. أصبحت الشراكات الاستراتيجية مع وكالات الفضاء والمنظمات الدولية والمراكز العلمية والبحثية ذات الصلة من مختلف أنحاء العالم منهج عمل لوكالة الإمارات للفضاء، كما يأتي إعلان دولة الإمارات عن إتاحة البيانات العلمية التي يجمعها مشروع الإمارات لاستكشاف المريخ مسبار الأمل لخدمة المجتمع العلمي والعالمي، بعد أن نجح المسبار في 9 فبراير من سنة 2021 في الوصول إلى مدار الكوكب الأحمر كمؤشر عملي على إيماننا بالتعاون الدولي في مجال الفضاء. وإننا نتطلع إلى أن تستفيد أكثر من 200 مؤسسة علمية وبحثية وأكاديمية من البيانات العلمية التي يجمعها مشروع الإمارات لاستكشاف المريخ في مهمته العلمية، بالإضافة إلى إتاحتها للجمهور ولكل المهتمين بالقطاع. الحضور الكريم، إن دولة الإمارات وانطلاقا من نهجها الثابت في التعاون والشراكة لمصلحة الجميع تواصل العمل على توسيع آفاق التعاون الفضائي على المستوى العربي، ولهذا جاء إطلاق المجموعة العربية للتعاون الفضائي في مارس 2019 بدعوة ورعاية كريمة من صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم نائب رئيس الدولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حاكم دبي رعاه الله، لتكون أول كيان يهتم بتعزيز التعاون الفضائي العربي. وتضم المجموعة الآن 14 دولة عربية، من ضمنها المملكة المغربية ممثلة بالمركز الملكي للاستشعار البعدي الفضائي. ونتطلع إلى زيادة عدد الدول المشاركة في المجموعة من أجل تبادل خبرات ومعارف استكشاف الفضاء. السيدات والسادة، إن تعيين خبراء للقمة العالمية للعلوم الفضاء وشبكة خبراء الإيسيسكو قد تعد خطوة رائدة لتعزيز نقل ومشاركة المعرفة في علوم وتقنيات الفضاء، وتسهم في تعميم أفضل الممارسات في المجال، ولخلق شراكات استراتيجية أكثر فعالية. هذا وقد حقق قطاع الفضاء الإماراتي قفزات سريعة خلال سنوات قليلة بفضل نقل المعرفة ومشاركة الخبرات على مستوى عالمي، ونحن منفتحون للمزيد من التعاون في هذا الشأن مع كل الدول الشقيقة والصديقة. إن الخبراء المشاركين في هذه الفعالية الدولية التي تستضيفها المملكة المغربية هي أسماء لامعة في سماء قطاع الفضاء الدولي، ونتطلع إلى الاستفادة من هؤلاء الخبراء وهذه الكفاءات في تسريع الإنجازات العلمية في مجال استكشاف الفضاء. لقد جاء إطلاق البرنامج الوطني للفضاء عام 2017 من قبل صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم وصاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن زايد آل نهيان، ليرسم رؤية متكاملة واستراتيجية واضحة للمستقبل في قطاع الفضاء. وبفضل هذه الاستراتيجية استثمرت الإمارات أكثر من 22 مليار درهم في قطاع الفضاء خلال سنوات قليلة ماضية. وفي ظل التطور والازدهار في هذا القطاع، فإنه يضم اليوم أكثر من 3100 عامل في مجال الفضاء، ويحتضن أكثر من 50 شركة ومنشأة فضائية محلية وعالمية. ولدى الإمارات 5 مراكز بحثية في العلوم الفضائية و3 برامج جامعية تخرج الكفاءات القادرة على تطوير قطاع الفضاء والابتكارات فيه وفي أبحاثه وعلومه. بعد أن أصبحت دولة الإمارات في نادي ال5 الكبار الذين وصلوا إلى كوكب المريخ، فقد أعلنت مؤخرا دولة الإمارات عن تحدي جديد في مجال استكشاف الفضاء سيشكل إضافة علمية غير مسبوقة للمعرفة البشرية ويطور علوم الفضاء بشكل حيوي. الحضور الكريم، لقد أعلنت دولة الإمارات قبل أسابيع عن مشروع الإمارات لاستكشاف الزهرة وحزام الكويكبات في مهمة فضائية علمية تكشف آفاقاً علمية جديدة، وتنطلق عام 2028 ولمدة 5 سنوات. وسنكون بحاجة إلى كل ابتكاراتنا وعلومنا ومعارفنا لضمان نجاح المهمة الفضائية الجديدة في قطع مسافة 3.6 مليار كيلومتر في الفضاء العميق، والهبوط على كويكب على مسافة 560 مليون كيلومتر عن كوكب الأرض. وفي المرحلة الأولى من المشروع الفضائي الإماراتي الجديد سيكون هناك تعاونا بين جامعة الإمارات وجامعة خليفة في دولة الإمارات، ومختبر فيزياء الغلاف الجوي والفضاء لدى جامعة كولورادو. ونتطلع إلى توسيع هذا التعاون الأكاديمي والعلمي والبحثي إلى أبعد مدى من أجل الوصول بالمعرفة البشرية إلى آفاق جديدة متميزة. كما نتطلع إلى تعاون شركات القطاع الخاص في مختلف أنحاء العالم من أجل توسيع نطاق المهام الفضائية العلمية لفهم كوكبنا بشكل أفضل وضمان مستقبل مستدام للبشرية. الحضور الكريم، معا يمكننا تحقيق إنجازات استثنائية في مجال استكشاف الفضاء وتطوير علومه وأبحاثه. شكرا لكم، وندعوكم للتعرف عن قرب على قطاع الفضاء الإماراتي بزيارة دولة الإمارات التي تستضيف حدث إكسبو 2020 دبي العالمي بمشاركة 192 دولة لصنع مستقبل أفضل. وشكرا.
Excellency, thank you so much for such an eventful deliberation. I'm confident that our audience have known more about UAE Space Agency than ever before, especially the information about the Mars exploration project, the Probe of Hope, which is available to serve the scientific and global community after the probe succeeded on February 2021 to reach the orbit of Red Planet as a preparation indication of Emirates' belief in international cooperation in the field of space. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the objectives of this forum is to establish an institutional network and building cooperation between ICESCO member and non-member states in the field of space science and producing the knowledge about the latest developments related to international space activities and their dissemination. In this regard, the next speech is the development of space industry enabled to keep the communities connected and deliver uninterrupted telecommunications and Earth observation solutions to people. Please, let me have an opportunity to introduce to you His Excellency Samaddin Asadov, Chairman of Board of Azerbaijan Space Agency. Excellency Samaddin Asadov has been appointed as a Chairman of Azercosmos in June 2021 by the order of President of Republic of Azerbaijan. Chairman Asadov held the position of the Director of Finance Department at Azercosmos from 2014 to 21. Excellency Asadov worked at the Finance, Accounting, and Economic Analysis Department of Ministry of Communications and Information Technologies of the Republic of Azerbaijan. His Excellency has a distinguished career which includes his education in adaptive strategic execution programs at Edda University and at Duke University. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Chairman Asadov to this forum. Please.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you hear my voice. It's my pleasure today to attend this forum and present Space Agency of the Azerbaijan Republic. Looking at our world today, we have witnessed how science and technology have changed the face of everything over the past 50 years. Now, space is a great power. The satellite industry is an integral part of the science and technology and the communication chain. The triangle of science research, human involvement, and industry cooperation have made space industry one of the main priorities of the country. Azerbaijan has become an active member of the World Space Club since 2013 after launching its first satellite. Today, we as Azerbaijan Space Agency, shortly Azercosmos, are operating 2 telecommunication satellites and 1 Earth observation satellite. Our satellites are addressing within the coverage areas different socio-economical challenges. We're providing data, video, imagery services to reduce digital gap, to timely manage emergency situations, for environmental activities, and so on. Over the years, we got strong capabilities in provision of satellite and teleport services. Today, more than 90% of Azercosmos revenues are being generated from the outside of the country. It enables us to position ourselves as a reliable partner. When it comes to our teleport services, they have been granted with the highest Tier 4 certification from World Teleport Association recently. Our teleport is the only one granted with the certification within the region. Those, the triggers that particular, for example, CALSUT EU agency for the space program has chosen us for extending their satellite-based augmentation system called IGNOS for Galileo Positioning System. Chinese navigational satellite system Beidou is also interested in us. These services will have a positive impact on various sectors, including aviation, marine, automobile, railroad, and so on, not only in Azerbaijan, but also in the region. As a space agency, we perform capacity building and space awareness activities. Azercosmos is open to proceed space programs to stimulate space activities among the government agencies, research institutions, business, and universities. For this purpose, we hold various programs and competitions aimed at the development of human capital and space, like Kansat Azerbaijan competition and hackathons, such as NASA Space Apps and Active Space Hackathons. The aim of this project is to grow the knowledge and skills necessary for the development of interest to the satellite technology. It is worth to mention that about 400 students from 15 universities of Azerbaijan have been involved in the Kansat competition. These projects enable the students to acquire their gained competences and educational background in the real-world environment. Nowadays, we are pleased that those students are working at Azercosmos. Now we are as a space agency exploring new initiatives to bring yours to the space and get more benefit from it as an emerging space country and regional player. In the context of initiatives stemming from sustainable development goals, we are utilizing space-based technologies for the positive contribution and well-being of all mankind. Through our Earth observation satellite, Azersky, we do not only obtain images for any part of the world, but also collect a large volume archive information. With obtained satellite images, we are processing it, identifying objects, and detecting changes using artificial intelligence. The data from our satellite is used for constantly monitoring and analyzing agriculture areas, water resources, urban planning, rural development, mineral prospecting, environment, forestry, and oil production. For example, resources of a sky satellite are used to assess and manage oil spill in the whole Caspian Basin. New development in Earth observation technology in our country indicate that it's now feasible to monitor key data for sustainable agriculture production and natural resources. Over the past 7 years, using Azercosmos images, we have carried out several projects in Azerbaijan as well as in Central Asian countries, such as in the field of crop mapping, yield forecasting, and greenhouse monitoring. The use of satellite imagery is helping farmers achieve more reliable crop yields and optimize irrigation systems, as well as fill widespread gaps in monitoring irrigation water use. Monitoring large forest areas is presently practicable with satellite remote sensing and opposed to the time-consuming and expensive infrastructure. Thus, monitoring the forest areas that help to take an action on deforestation and degradation events via other sky images in Azerbaijan, as well as in the neighboring countries, as an example, Georgia and Kyrgyzstan. We are delighted to be a part of fast-evolving global space ecosystem and contribute to the development of the space sector for the benefit of all. We do it either by eliminating the digital divide, or connecting communities, or by providing solutions for safer and more sustainable world. Regarding this point, our telecom satellite plays a crucial role in both the formation and transmission of the digital data in the Europe, Asia, and Africa. Other space satellites have the ability to cover large geographical areas with reliable internet services. In short, the philosophy behind our satellite project is to improve the living conditions and well-being of our people, as well as maintain a healthy standard for living for future generations. As a final thought, I think utilization of satellite technologies is very important to advancing the cooperation among the Islamic countries. We need to promote a global partnership of connectivity to achieve common development and prosperity. I am confident that we can work closely on the mentioned YALS programs in the fields of education, science, culture, and communication within the framework of the civilizational reference of the Islamic world and in the light of human Islamic values and ideals. I would like to thank organizers. This platform allows us to explore opportunities for bilateral cooperation. I believe we have something to share with fellow emerging agencies, and also there is even for us to learn from others. Thank you very much for listening.
The Chairman Asadov, thank you very much for giving us an overview of research and development projects and competitions and aerospace robotics teams at Azercosmos. And we are also very much pleased to know your activeness and willingness of Azercosmos for international cooperations. Ladies and gentlemen, intending to diversify its economy and create a scientific, legislative, and technical environment in view of the growing business opportunities offered by space, the Saudi Space Agency is already a reality. The kingdom is moving towards the progressive quality of life. Saudi Space Commission demonstrates the aligned vision of creating better, secure environments for its citizens while creating enabling prospects of lucrative economic and monetary inventions within the framework of Saudi Vision 2030 to furnish us with all these endeavors of Saudi Space Commission, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am pleased to introduce to you Engineer Majed Alonazi, Chief Operating Officer, Saudi Space Commission. We are honored that he is present with us today in this hall. Engineer Alonazi is a seasoned executive in the area of satellite communications. He is skilled in orbital resources, mega project management, and a strong business development professional. Engineer Alonazi holds a master's certificate in project management, master's degree in microwave engineering and wireless subsystem design, in addition to the training in strategy, leadership, innovation, management, finance, and technologies. He is an active member in a variety of technology, business, and regulatory groups. Engineer Majed is with us today, so I would like to invite him on the table, on the podium, to tell us about the space in Saudi Vision 2030. Sir, floor is yours, please.
As Director General of the Islamic World Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, ICESCO, Dr. Salem bin Mohamed Al-Malik. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to express my gratitude to ICESCO for inviting the Saudi Space Commission to participate in this significant event, which it organized in collaboration with the American Space Foundation and attracts distinguished number of experts and policymakers in the space sector from national authorities, international organizations, academic bodies, and other relevant institutions under the theme, Exploring the Space, Science, Future Together. This event seeks to raise awareness on the relevance of space science and technology, as well as the target potential afforded by its technical applications of achieving sustainable development and to enhance global trends in general and space programs in the Islamic world in particular, and the utilization of space technology in the fields of education, science, innovation. I would like also to congratulate ICESCO and the American Space Foundation on signing a partnership agreement in August to promote the importance of investing in space science, integrating them into educational programs, contributing to the benefits of their applications, and providing opportunities for researchers and scientists to exchange ideas, experience, and innovation in the field of space and science. This will have the greatest impact on knowledge transfer and localization among the organization member states, as well as learning from the experience of developed countries and global institutions in supporting space science and innovations and building the capacity of young people who are a key driver of development. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia appreciates the efforts of the delegations attending this forum to raise awareness of the importance of space science and technology, as well as the opportunities offered by the technological application to achieve sustainable development, and to take advantage of this forum to exchange views and ideas and knowledge about development in this vital field related to industrials and innovation. This will help to strengthen the Islamic world's directives to develop their space programs in order to achieve the goals of their sustainable development plans, while also emphasizing the critical role played by all member states in the field of exploration and use of outer space, which serves as the international legal framework for preserving the peaceful use of outer space, as well as guaranteeing the growth and prosperity of the world's people via economic, social, and cultural development, as did pioneering Muslims academics in the space and planetary explorations such as Al-Khwarizmi. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kingdom has made significant efforts in recent years to localize space science and technologies, given that space science and technologies, as well as the applications that goes with them, have enabled scientists, experts, and specialists in the Kingdom to advance understanding of the universe and the Earth, as well as contributing to the advancement of education, health, environmental monitoring, and natural resources and water management. Satellite communication and direct broadcasting saw the lion's share of these benefits and direct returns on the countries of the world in general and the Kingdom in particular in dealing with COVID-19 by reducing the side effects and material and human losses that could have been doubled without employing these capabilities, in managing the economic order under these exceptional circumstances. Education and training. Many Saudi scientists and experts, including engineers, specialists, and technicians in a variety of fields, to establish an infrastructure that contributed to transfer and localization of technology in the field of space, was one of the Kingdom efforts, works, and achievements during the past period. In addition to the SGS-1 satellites in the geo orbit, which provide space communication and broadband connectivity, the Kingdom was able to launch 17 satellites in low space orbit between 2000 and 2021 for mature radios, services, education, relay, communication, remote sensing, and variety of scientific experiments. In 2014, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia conducted scientific experiments on board of the Saudi Sat-4 in the field of space science This experiment was developed in collaboration with NASA and Stanford University, and the results have been made available to the scientific community. In addition, the Kingdom collaborated with the Chinese National Space Administration, CNSA, on a mission to the far side of the moon called Chang 4, which carried a Saudi payload captured photographs from the lunar surface. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of these great efforts, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia recognized the importance of establishing the Saudi Space Commission, an entity concerned with the space sector to implement the Kingdom's Vision 2030, to regulate and develop everything related to the Kingdom's space sector in a manner that safeguards the Kingdom's interest and gains, enhances security and protection from any risk related to the sector, and encourages and stimulates research. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia believes in the importance of consensus, and it's constantly working to build bridges to join cooperation and purposeful constructions in order to maintain security and peace, provide broader horizon and that help overcome the challenges facing our planet, and support our path forward, a promising economy that serves the Kingdom and humanity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us an overview of Saudi Space Commission. Apply integrated initiatives and programs to respond to national requirements and to sponsor and develop space scientific technological activities, research, and concepts for achieving comprehensive and sustainable development. This is the mission of National Space Science Agency, Bahrain. To furnish us with these endeavors of Bahrain Space Agency, with us is today His Excellency Dr. Mohamed AlOthman. Let me have an opportunity again to introduce to you His Excellency AlOthman. Dr. AlOthman joined the University of Bahrain in 1992 and became a member of faculty in April 2000. Excellency chaired the Department of Physics from September 2008 until December 2012. He's a member of High Committee for Bahraini Calendar since 2005 and a member of Board of Directors for the National Space Science Agency since 2014. Excellency was involved in the testing and calibration of energetic particle detectors on board on NASA's Polar satellite, which was launched on February 1996. He was also involved in European Space Agency's cluster satellites, which were launched in 2000, measuring the energetic electrons and protons trapped in the magnetosphere. Today, His Excellency will be speaking on National Space Science Agency, NASA's Charting the Path for Bahrain in Space. Please, ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome His Excellency Dr. Mohamed AlOthman. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Good morning and good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and dear audience. It's my honor and pleasure to participate in this forum and present this talk about the National Space Science Agency of the Kingdom of Bahrain. It's a newly founded agency. It was established by a royal decree, number 11 of 2014, but the real kickoff occurred in 2018. So basically what we, as a starting agency, we need to set up a path, a chart our way in becoming part of the space world and among other agencies. So basically we started with getting the elements that we needed to chart the path. Basically, we used the government action plan, which is a plan set by the government of Bahrain. It's got a 4-year cycle. We use, of course, the UN SDGs, and we conducted a preliminary survey by interviewing the stakeholders, and that would define the national requirements, producing activities, products that really satisfied what is required on the national level. This led us to set up a national space policy for the Kingdom of Bahrain, and for NSSA, the strategic plan for every 5 years. The 5 years was a compromise between the 4 years of the government action plan and the projects associated with the space industry. It's usually a long term, 8 or 7 years. So in between, we choose a 5-year cycle. The national space policies got 3 main items: the objective, things that we want to accomplish; requirements, whatever we need to accomplish these objectives; and governance, which sets the role of NSSA and the stakeholders. And it's a continuous evaluation that we are moving along the right path. Why do we need the national space policy? Since the NSSA was established by a royal decree, we need to translate His Majesty's vision. We should have a reference for the national strategies. We define the agency approach, and we define the role of the stakeholders. Not everything is going to be done by the NSSA. We need to set our success factors, whether we have to measure it and determine whether we have succeeded in reaching the objective or not. The National Space Policy's objective got 5 objectives. The first is we use the benefit of space in supporting the development of the kingdom. We achieve presence in space. We attain leadership for the Kingdom of Bahrain in the field of space, create a space sector here in the kingdom, and contribute to the stability, safety, and sustainability of the space environment. The requirements to achieve these objectives, we needed to spread awareness, identify national needs, build capacity, a regulatory environment, the use of the frequency spectrum, and optimize the usage. We have to establish partnership and, of course, provide funding. The governance, we needed 4 items. We need to determine the stakeholders who can benefit from the space activities, benefit from NSSA, can contribute to NSSA's activities. We need a regular review and evaluation that we are on the right track. We need to measure quality and measure progress. In establishing the strategic goals to achieve these objects, got 6 goals. First is promoting space science through awareness, developing advanced research programs and enhancing innovation, building national capacities, constructing a sound infrastructure, encouraging the kingdom to be an international player, respond to the national requirements, and establishing the relations with the cooperation with regional and international agencies. Basically, we started by promoting space science through the awareness. We had 3 types of programs. One is focused on the young generation, the schools and university students. Basically, these are the future of the country, so we need them to grow up with the focus of space in their mind. The other one is the stakeholders, the decision makers. Basically, we need to tell them what they can do with the space, and that there are some things that cannot be done unless you have an access to space, either data or analysis. And the third type of awareness is for general public. I mean, it's a common thing for every agency. Whenever they started a space industry, people will start making fun, not being aware of what they can do from space. And this is the typical thing everyone who has been in the space sector, that the common person would say that before going to space, let's fix what's on Earth. And they don't know that to fix things on Earth, we need to go to space. And this is the awareness we had in Bahrain, and NSSA started that from the first day. The second thing is building capacity. We have the building capacity either for the NSSA staff, where we had sent them to an academic programs workshop on with our international partners, the stakeholders. We conduct workshops here in Bahrain for the either the decision makers or for people supporting working in the government. Of course, we have one of our accomplishments is establishing what we call BST, Bahrain Space Time. That was a group of our engineers that was sent to the United Arab Emirates, to Khalifa University to get their masters, and from their program they have built a CubeSat. The third goal is getting the infrastructure. One of the items is the national space policy, which can be obtained from our website. You can download the National Space Policy and the strategic goals. The other one is, for instance, getting the National Space Law, which is hopefully it's almost in its final stages. This is really a requirement if you want to establish a space sector, to have a law that would regulate the activities for investment, for the labor working in the space sectors. Getting a relation and partnerships. We don't want to start from zero. We want to have relationships. We want to conduct discussions. We want to benefit from other agencies' experience in establishing the space sector. That we got the several MOUs regionally and internationally. The fifth one is the meeting the national requirements. We don't want to sing out of the flock. Basically, we want to produce products, we want to produce studies that would satisfy the national requirement. We don't want to waste finance, we don't want to waste man hours and doing things that's not related to the country. So basically we needed to determine the national requirements. In this essence, we met with several entities. We try to find the problems they have and how we can do it from space. Some of the problems can be easily solved using space technologies. Some of them are not. And that's something more of a quick win to show the government that we can do things that's really need by the government. The sixth goal is the encouraging the kingdom to be an international player. In this essence, we got the membership of ANOSA and COPUS, and last week we became a member of the IEF in Dubai. We signed, out of the 5 treaties under the UN, we signed 3, the Outer Space Treaty, the Liability Convention, and the Registration Convention. Of course, and the other one is the attending the miscellaneous international space conferences and meetings like this one. To achieve now these goals, we had these what we call strategic initiatives. We have established a data analysis center. Of course, Bahrain cannot be a big player in launch or in satellite manufacturing. So I think I won't say the easiest, but the quickest way of doing it is doing the data analysis. We have satellite data and satellite images. The easiest way is to get the data, produce studies, and produce them to the government, and we can see the benefit from space with a few months turnaround for this data. We started working on the Nano Satellites, as I mentioned, going from the Bahrain space team, going to the UAE. They have built their first satellite in cooperation with the Khalifa University and the United Arab Emirates Space Agency. And now we are working on our second satellite here in Bahrain. A future work is probably launching a remote sensing satellite with more capable, with the capability to provide information for the national requirement. And of course, this is thing all tied with the ground station to have sovereignty, to have the control over the satellite. And this is what we are working. This is, I think, the latest project is establishing the ground station here in Bahrain. This is basically our experience trying to chart a path for Bahrain in the space world. For any information, if you like, I'll be here. And you've got the website, our website, where you can get lots of, this is part of the awareness, got lots of information, and the National Space Policy and Strategic Plan for the NSSA. Thank you.
Excellency, thank you very much for a very nice and elaborative presentation. And it's really the strategic goals explained, as Your Excellency mentioned, that responding to the national requirements, we're providing the space information and Earth observation data to different stakeholders. It depends on their need to support comprehensive and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, we move towards another distinguished speaker of the day, Mr. Azlikamil, Napier, Director General of Malaysian Space Agency. He started, let me have an introduction of him to you. He started his professional career in private sector as a senior geologist in 1993 and joined the government sector as a research officer at Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency, MRSA, in August 1994. At MRSA, he confers his knowledge and experience in spatial data and analysis and modeling activities, including satellite image processing, to help Malaysia exploit the advancement of remote sensing technologies from national development, security, and people well-being. After 10 years of invaluable contribution in research and development at local and international level, he was appointed to the lead corporate and strategic section at Malaysian Space Agency for another 4 years. His serious dedication and commitment in remote sensing technology management and development in Malaysia was realized when he was promoted to Deputy Director General in the year 2011. Since May 2015, he's been appointed as a Director General of MRSA with the task of spearheading the development and operationalization of remote sensing and related technologies in Malaysia. With the merger of Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency and the National Space Agency in 2019, Mr. Napiah has been appointed as the Director General of Malaysian Space Agency. Today, he is with us and to tell us how to unlock the vast potential of space science in Malaysia. Dear Director General, Malaysia Space Agency, the floor is yours, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. First of all, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my appreciation to the organizer for inviting me to this forum and for the excellent preparation made for this session, especially during this unprecedented times. I wish to assure you of our support and cooperation in ensuring the successful outcome of this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia begins its space-related activities in late 1980s, introducing an advanced technology, quite a challenge at a particular time. Therefore, we are focusing into creating a downstream space-based application, in particular remote sensing technology. On top of it, we are also venturing into communication and navigation services. Most of the space-based application innovated were based on government research and development driven. To some extent, it was supported strongly by user-based requirement. A local demand at large. Since 2016 until 2018, we managed to develop in-house 40 application systems focusing on food security, natural resources, environmental health, disasters, and land management aspect. This downstream space activity obviously increased the effective and efficiency of government operation and management. It contributed up to at least ringgit Malaysia 49.8 million saving in system application development costs and reduce up to 30% of operation costs in overall. An establishment of National Space Policy 2030, or in short, National Space Policy 2030, in 2017 was a major leap forward to Malaysia, in particular, a next 10 years planning and development of space program. This includes reinforcing the governance in space technology to create a space technology ecosystem driver which is soldering to Malaysian Space Agency. Malaysian Space Agency, or in short, MYSA, has been established in 2019 through the merging of Malaysian Remote Sensing Agency and National Space Agency. This establishment is one of the first steps taken by the government in implementing the National Space Policy 2030, whereby the first thrust is to strengthen government governance in the space sector. MYSA is entrusted to drive the development of the national space sector and contribute towards a new and strategic economic growth. Under the purview of Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, MYSA has undertaken several initiatives under research and development, as well as technical services that involve the participation from government sectors, industry, academia, and the public at large. The establishment of National Space Policy 2030 has also created an opportunity to Malaysia to develop its upstream space activity. The government of Malaysia, through MYSA, also embarked on satellite development, which hopefully will contribute to development of local expertise and the growth of local space industry. To ensure the successful implementation of this program, Malaysia also needs to get involved in initiative or program at international level for continuous human capital development and to keep abreast of new and advanced technology. Malaysia also involved in exploration and space science activities for knowledge generation through collaboration with international organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, the establishment of NSP 2030 also contributed to strengthening the development, expanding and popularizing all areas of space technology agendas, including remote sensing technology, to ensure the continuity of prosperity and progress of the country. 4 policy objectives were outlined in National Space Policy 2030. 1, to state the country's stand and objective on mastering the space sector. Second, to coordinate the country's space activities in an organized manner. Third, to recognize the need for access to space capability. And finally, to determine the direction of development of space sector in Malaysia. In line with the strategic thrust of the National Space Policy, Malaysia has developed a Malaysia Space Exploration 2030 Blueprint, or in short, Malaysia Space Act 2030, to create a comprehensive national space ecosystem and as an engine of NSP 2030 implementation. Among the key initiatives under this blueprint are: develop a homegrown satellite under the National Remote Sensing Satellite Program, strengthening the assembly, integration and testing facility in MYSA as a regional hub for measurement and testing services for both space and commercial industries. Enhancement of national research infrastructure for Global Navigation Satellite System, or GNSS, signal monitoring and testing, creating platform for local firm and industry participation in the global space industry value chain, and finally, to promoting international partnership to develop space science and technology with a vision of sending an unmanned spacecraft and contribute to the growth of the space economy in Malaysia. Malaysia Space Exploration 2030 will be able to develop local space technology capabilities to strengthen the country's space sector ecosystem to be more competitive and conducive. Ladies and gentlemen, today, space technology is widely used and utilized by society and all aspects of life, including communication network, broadcasting, internet, mapping, navigation for transportation, weather forecasting, and the latest is food and goods delivery at your doorsteps. To support the space-based digital ecosystem, MYSA has continued to develop about 40 space technology-based applications to assist counterpart in the management of agriculture product, natural resources, environmental, security, and land development. Indirectly, space technology and its application have contributed to economic, social development, as well as national security and sovereignty. Research and development projects based on space technology are still ongoing, with a target of 5 new projects each year. This project help to save time and cost and also increase internal expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, MYSA is planning for the development of the National Remote Sensing Satellite for remote sensing monitoring and data supply services. The satellite is expected to be launched in late 2030 or early 2024. Malaysia is targeting to launch at least 2 more satellites by 2030. In addition, Malaysia is aiming to increase up to 50% level of independence in space technology and up to ringgit Malaysia 3.2 billion in space technology of national gross domestic product by 2030. It is also expected to provide at least 5,000 job opportunity in space technology sector and could market up at least ringgit Malaysia 40 million per year in data sales. Finally, I strongly believe that space science and space technology will offer a substantial value towards promoting new economy and in the next few years. Malaysia has a significant interest and welcome further cooperation with other entities on space science program, both in the bilateral and multilateral level. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director General, the Malaysian Space Agency. Our next talk is from the Jordan. And Excellency, the Colonial Engineer Muammar Kamil Haddadin just informed us that he's been called by some defense meeting, so he has appointed some representative who will talk on the settlement of astronomy and space technology in Jordan. So I will ask my team to give the floor to the representative of Colonel Muammar Kamal Haddadin from the Royal Jordanian Geographical Center, Jordan, to speak on the settlement of astronomy and space technology in Jordan. After this, we will have a talk from the respectable and honorable chairman, Bangladesh Space Agency, and then we'll go for the lunch break. Thank you so much. The floor is to the Royal Geographical Center, Jordan. Are they there? Team. Sorry for the inconvenience. Then I will move to the next talk. I would ask his Honorable Chairman, Mizanur Rahman from the Bangladesh Space Agency. Guys, okay. So I give with us today is the Honorable Chairman of Bangladesh Space Agency is present in the hall. So we will move to the next talk and give the floor to His Excellency Mizanur Rahman to speak on the future of space science of Bangladesh. Sir, we would like to have you here. Can you please share the presentation?
Distinguished participants from the member states space agencies, especially head of the space agencies, Honorable Director General of ICESCO, Dr. Al-Malik, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, very good afternoon and good morning to all. I'd like to share our vision, share our future of Bangladesh with you today, with this audience of this house and also those who are connected with us. As you know, after the independence of Bangladesh, the then government, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was actually take several programs, and from that programs, today's Bangladesh Space Agency emerged. So I share with you future space science and Bangladesh. My organization is Bangladesh Space Research and Remote Sensing Organization. In brief, it is called SPARSO. Some introduction of my organization. It's a statutory body, and it is mainly research on multidisciplinary section. From its emancipation, it's basically emphasized on the remote sensing activities. In Bangladesh, we have more than 40 years of expertise and experience in the field of remote sensing applications. Here are some applications I show you, including agriculture, forestries, fisheries, geology, water resources, land use, disaster, environment, climate change, and oceanography, and also we have the other fields also there. My next slide is, what is our vision? Our vision is contribute the improvement of people's living standard by using the remote sensing and space science technology. And we have the missions to strengthen our economic development and capabilities through the research of the field of climate change, agriculture, forestry, geology, land use, all others also. And we thrive on our space science and technology, develop skilled human resources. We have in Bangladesh, we have the demographic dividend. We have a huge number of talented young guys. We like to strengthen them in this scientific field. Here are some important milestones of the space science and remote sensing researches in Bangladesh. As I mentioned earlier, after the independence of Bangladesh, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, established the Earth Resource Technology Satellite Program. This program was inclined with the NASA's first satellite, which was launched in the 1971. That was the ERTS satellites. And also established the Space and Atmospheric Research Center, which was established in the then 1972. In the 1975, first communication satellite ground station was established. And in 1980, the ERTS and SARC, those programs merged together, and the working of journey of space just started. And in 1985, first Earth observation satellite ground station was established in Bangladesh. And in 2010, environmental satellite ground station was established. And 2018, first communication satellite, it was named after our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Satellite 1, was launched. And we have the plan in 2024, the second satellite will be launched. Here are some recent activities I am showing you for as an examples. These are the estimation of the crop areas. That is, we have the two major rice crop. One is summer crop, and the other is winter rice crop. Just using the satellite images, we just estimated the which area, total acreage of the land, and we gave this information to the Ministry of agriculture and food, and then they plan their food security planning. And from this year, I'd like to share you with we are going to the precision agriculture, and we have started research on it. Disaster monitoring and forecasting. You know that Bangladesh is a disaster-prone area. We have several national calamities. So we gave emphasis on this issue. This is the last year, 2020 national flood mapping. And also we have huge number of river area in Bangladesh. And we have also the monitoring the integrated river monitoring systems. We just see all these rivers, how it's eroded, where is accretions happen, all these issues we monitor. This is the climate change in field where we are researching. This is, you know that the world's largest mangrove, Sundarban, is in Bangladesh. From 1973 to 2002, with the analysis of the satellite images, we just monitor how this mangrove is changing. And also there is the mapping of tidal mud floods of the coast of the Bangladesh. This is the coastal geomorphology from 1970 to almost 50 years data we analyze, and we find out how our coast is changes. It is needed for land reclamation, also for the navigation purposes. We just use this data and all these informations. These are the new field. As you know that Bangladesh has a huge sea area. So we targeted our blue economy. We have huge number of fishermen. They are originally fishing with their traditional country trawlers, but with their indigenous knowledge, they depend on the fishing. So we researching where is the potential fishing location in the Bay of the Bengal. On basis of depending on the chlorophyll concentration and also sea surface temperature and other indicators, we are just developing our model courtesy. This research, this is an example, and this research will be finished in June 22. We have also several cooperation with other agencies. We are the member of ICESCO, that is the Asia Pacific Space Cooperation Agency. There are 8 members here. And we are also the member of, ICESCO and ISNET, all this. So under this umbrella, ICESCO, in the specialized domain, our scientists collaborating with the other 8 member state scientists in these 3 projects. They are observatories, earthquake research, and atmospheric effects and ionospheric model. And also a space technology domain. We have small satellite constellation missions, research going on. And the second one is small research satellite projects. These satellites already launched with the help of Chinese Space Agency. And the space application domain, we have the GNS monitoring system, forest carbon stock assessment, and research on application of space technology and disaster monitoring. These are the collaboration with Asia Pacific Space Cooperation Organization. This is now the vision or roadmap of the future. How you shift our attention to the future. How you make our dream to happen. As you know, that our honorable prime ministers earlier declared the vision of 2021, which make Bangladesh graduated from LDCs to developing country already. And now he declared the vision of 2041 to make Bangladesh as a developed country. With that, we are from ICESCO, we also take the short, medium, and long-term vision to make our future space program on depending to utilize the space technology, knowledge, infrastructures, and also other fields. As you know, the future is for space technology. As earlier, you know that many speakers here talked about the future space science technology. We know last year, Morgan Stanley published a report that at present, 350 billion worth of space technology industry, but in 2040, it may be the $1 to $1.3 trillion worth. So we have to connect those economy. So we like to make our space future program. Earlier I said what have Bangladesh from the starting point of the Bangladesh Space Agency. It emphasized on the remote sensing technology, remote sensing application of the remote sensing technology in different various fields. But now we like to shift our targeted to the space science technology. What are the benefits we expect from this planning? This is we acquire a sustainable space program in our country, and we develop the countries become a part of the space economy, what I mentioned earlier. And access the benefits derived from the space technology for harnessing natural resources, disaster monitoring, improving communication services, and catalyzing the scientific research. And we also to create necessary infrastructure for the development of sophisticated technologies, and including aerospace technology. And developed professionals. As I mentioned earlier, we have a huge talented young generation. So we like to attract them to this field, in the space technology field. And we want to make them expert, make them skilled professionals to flourishing space-related industries and attract investment from home and abroad. And attain our national pride as in spacefaring countries, and also play a leading role in the advancement of global science, knowledge, and development. We targeted these our short-term program. It is a time-bound program from 2020 to 2024. These are we have targeted actually 3 areas. At 2021 and within 22, we just established a geostationary ground station, then polar orbiting satellite ground station, and also we studied our present condition and how we want to our capabilities. We want to develop our capabilities, and there will be the Earth satellite programs, how we make them, and how we also established assembling, integration, and testing laboratories. All this we just first like to study. From that report, we phase by phase, we establish those ones. For midterm development plan, which is timeline is 22 to 2030, that is, here are 4 areas actually. The installation of a space observation telescope under ICESCO framework, we just for observatories activities. Then integrated training and research centers for expansion of space science and technology, and assembly, integration, testing lab for the development of satellites and launching of Earth observation satellites. This is all our time-bound program. We also like to have our dream to be a true one. And our long-term planning. there are 4 fields are here in the long-term developing, actually. The iconic space, advanced space building, where all modern equipments and facilities will be there, and scientists can make their research, scientists will research there, and also the development of launching of indigenous satellites. We want to acquire technologies. We want partnership from others. We partnership of spacefaring developed nations. With that partnership and cooperation, we trained, make skilled human resources, make our scientists, engineers skilled one, and from that we get the result that we make our own capabilities from making, manufacturing to launching. All these will be our own hand. And the space research and remote sensing centers at different zones. And at present, Bangladesh Space Research and Remote Sensing Organization has one office. It is the capital, Dhaka. But we can spread it the different zones. We like to different offices in our different areas of countries that to connect and also to our people to make them interested in this field. Let them know what is happening in this field. Then their interest growing, and they will, more and more people will be joining to the space program. Then it will be a successful one. And our main target is to the space economy. We had to play a vital role in the space economy, targeting the space. So we have a plan to establish industrial park, boosting that. It is in 2 phases. As you know, just as an example, I'd like to let you know here. Late 80s and 90s, from other parts of the world, all garments industries rush to the Bangladesh, go to the Bangladesh to establish their garments industries because of the less wages labor. Because we have a very large population, so wages is less, and skilled labor they established. And now you know the garments is #1 export earnings goods in our country, in Bangladesh. But in future, we'd like to diversify our economy and diversify our space. Diversify our exports. So if we have already we have the talented young people, we train them, we make them skills, we give them a space to work. So we like investment from home abroad to attract in this field. It is our future plan. And this is, in a brief, this is my presentation. And thank you all for giving us this time and patient hearing. And also I like to pay my gratitude to the ICESCO for inviting me to come here and make my presentation before you, especially my best thanks to the Director General, Dr. Al-Maliki, and also other organizations from the ICESCO, especially Dr. Professor Rahil Sharif and also Dr. Muhammad Sharif, those who cooperate from beginning to this end. So I am here. And also who are behind the organization, organizing this forum, I also pay my respect and thanks to all. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mizanur Rahman, Bangladesh Space Agency. Now, our next speaker is another distinguished speaker, was supposed to be Colonel Engineer Muammar Kamil Haddadin, Director General of Military Survey, Royal Jordanian Geographical Center, who is also Director General of the Working Group on the Space Agenda of Peaceful for 2030. As I just mentioned earlier, that because of some urgent call, he's gone to the meeting, and he has now the representative of Director General, and the representative is Colonel Engineer Abdullah Al-Gharir, who will replace and give the presentation in place of Director General, Royal Jordanian Space Research Center. And we would like to give the floor to the Colonel Engineer Al-Gharir to talk on the settlement of astronomy and space technology in Jordan for the peaceful uses. The floor is yours, sir.
أشكرك يا أخي العزيز. الصوت واضح؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حضرات السادة الخبراء والمشاركين الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وبعد، في البداية أود أن أعتذر عن عطوفة العقيد المهندس معمر حدادين. حصل ارتباط طارئ مع معالي وزير الدفاع، واضطر أنه يغادر المركز لحضور هذا الاجتماع. وأنا الرائد المهندس عبد الله عواد الغرير، مدير التطبيقات الحديثة في المركز الجغرافي الملكي، سأنوب عنه في إلقاء هذه الكلمة. يسعدني أن أرحب بكم جميعا في هذه الندوة العلمية حول المنتدى العالمي لعلوم الفضاء تحت عنوان استكشاف مستقبل علوم الفضاء، والتي تهدف إلى نشر المعرفة وتبادل الخبرات في علوم واستكشاف الفضاء، والاستفادة من خبرات ومهارات علماء الفضاء المشاركين من مختلف أنحاء دول العالم، فضلا عن استعراض أحدث المستجدات والإنجازات في قطاع الفضاء على المستوى الإقليمي والعالمي، للنهوض ببرامج الفضاء واستخدام تكنولوجيا الفضاء في التعليم والعلوم والابتكار في البلدان النامية. لقد شهد العالم مؤخرا تقدما مذهلا في شتى المجالات، وخاصة في مجال تكنولوجيا المعلومات والاتصالات، الأمر الذي جعل من إمكانية الحصول على المعلومة وانتشارها متاحا وميسرا للجميع وبشكل غير مسبوق، إذ أصبح بالإمكان الحصول على صور جوية وفضائية ذات قدرات تمييزية عالية للأغراض السلمية ومتطلبات التنمية ومشروعات البنى التحتية وتنفيذ الخطط والمشاريع وبناء الاستراتيجيات، واستشراف المستقبل بما يحفظ للأجيال القادمة مستقبلا ملؤه التفاؤل والثقة بالنفس. إن قدرة تكنولوجيا الفضاء لخلق الثروة وتحسين نوعية الحياة في مناطق واسعة جغرافيا واقتصاديا يجعل منها أداة قوية للتنمية الاجتماعية والاقتصادية، فقد أصبح قطاع الفضاء مسألة شاملة لها انعكاساتها الإيجابية في مجالات مختلفة من المجتمع الدولي، خاصة في تعزيز رفاهية المواطنين في بلدان العالم، مثل إدارة الموارد المائية والاتصالات ومعالجة البيئة والتلوث والحد من الكوارث وإدارتها في حال وقوعها لا سمح الله. إن المركز الجغرافي الملكي الأردني ومنذ تأسيسه عام 1975 أخذ على عاتقه تزويد مختلف مؤسساتنا الوطنية في القطاعين العام والخاص بما تحتاجه من الخرائط بكافة أنواعها ومقاييسها، والصور الجوية والفضائية الحديثة، والقيام بالخدمات المساحية ورفدها بالكفاءات البشرية المؤهلة. ولم يقتصر دور المركز الجغرافي على القيام بمهامه وواجباته فحسب، بل ساهم وبشكل فعال في توطين تكنولوجيا علوم الفلك والفضاء في الأردن. ففي عام 2012 وتحت الرعاية الملكية السامية لجلالة الملك عبد الله الثاني بن الحسين، شهد المركز الجغرافي استضافة المركز الإقليمي لتدريس علوم وتكنولوجيا الفضاء لغرب آسيا، وذلك لتعزيز قدرات المملكة والإقليم في مجال علوم وتكنولوجيا الفضاء، بما يعود بالخير والنفع على شعوب المنطقة ودعم خططها التنموية والاقتصادية. وسيكون هذا المركز منارة علم وصرحا حضاريا متقدما ليس على الصعيد المحلي فحسب، بل وعلى الصعيد الإقليمي، باعتباره إضافة نوعية لمسيرة العلم، لمسيرة التعليم العالي والأكاديمي. وسيكون أيضا حاضنا للأعمال البحثية والتطويرية والابتكارية في المجالات الفضائية والفلكية والتجمعات العلمية والبحثية الهامة. إن استضافتنا لهذه الندوة العلمية الدولية التي يتم افتتاحها اليوم لإبراز ما يوليه المركز الجغرافي الملكي الأردني والمركز الإقليمي لتدريس علوم وتكنولوجيا الفضاء لغرب آسيا في مجال استكشاف الفضاء وإيجاد بيئة تشاركية فعالة حيث يشارك فيها نخبة من الخبراء والعلماء البارزين وصناع القرار في قطاع الفضاء، مما ستعزز في الاستثمار العلمي في علوم وتكنولوجيا الفضاء فضلاً عن إتاحة الفرصة لتبادل الخبرات والاطلاع على أحدث التطبيقات في تقنيات واستكشاف علوم الفضاء. ونأمل في الختام أن يحصل الأخوة المشاركون على الفائدة المرجوة من هذه الندوة الهامة، وأن يسود النقاش العلمي والتفاعلي الإيجابي، وإني على ثقة تامة بأن المشاركين الأفاضل سيقدموا خلاصة علمهم وخبرتهم لكي تعم الفائدة. وفي الختام أجدد الشكر والتقدير أيضاً لكل الأخوة الأفاضل الخبراء والباحثين والمختصين في هذه الورشة، والأخوة الأكاديميين والمختصين المشاركين على الصعيد الوطني والعالمي، والشكر الموصول للقائمين على هذه الندوة خاصة لجنة خبراء الإيسيسكو في دولة المغرب الرباط لرعايتهم وتعاونهم الحيوي لإقامة هذا النشاط العلمي الهام، ولكل من ساهم في التحضير لها راجيا التوفيق والنجاح. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Dear Colonel Engineer, thank you very much for the nice contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the first two sessions, the inaugural session and session one, where our different distinguished speakers, they have furnished us with a lot of information about the space agencies and their countries' involvement in different applications. So now we have a time of 2-3 minutes for a couple of questions. If any of our audience has a question to the Director General of UAE Space Agency, the Chairman of Bangladesh Space Agency, or the advisor to the National Space Science Agency, Bahrain, so we welcome the question from our audience. Do you want? Professor Rahil, you always have questions. Can you please raise your voice a little?
Yeah, let's take the example of Alpha Centauri, which is the closest galaxy to solar system, to our solar system. That is about 4.5 light years away. With the current technologies that we have in propulsion and different modes of travel, it will take us about 1,200 years to just reach the closest planet, you know. Under these circumstances, how are we going to explore the rest of the universe if we are going to do it? There are a lot of talks about warp drive and doing, bending space-time continuum and all that. But really, that is all really science fiction right now. Will it ever become reality that maybe in our lifetime or our future generations' lifetime, we will actually travel to another solar system or not? That is my question.
I would say that the Excellency UAE Space Agency has a long experience of this. Would you like to please respond to this question? That you have.
Dr. Rahil, thank you very much for your question. Well, it has, I would say it has a philosophical answer. The knowledge accumulated over the years throughout the humankind civilizations had to start somewhere. I think getting to galaxies light years away, as you mentioned, needs to start at a certain time, and I think the time is now. I believe now that there is a drive to use space to better our life here down on Earth, and we've heard from many experts on how to do that smartly and effectively. This answer is probably getting away from the answer, but I think the 1,000-mile road starts with one step at a time. We're taking these steps today, and eventually we'll get there. On propulsion, I would defer to my colleague here from Bangladesh. She's probably well-versed in this subject, but others as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. If we have any other question, maybe. We have many experts, professionals from the space agencies and remote sensing departments. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Give the mic for Akil. Yeah. You can use your mic. Yes.
شكرا سيدي على هذا المؤتمر القيم والذي يعطينا فرصة كأكاديميين، يعني نتطلع إن شاء الله أن تكون هناك مخرجات لهذا المؤتمر حتى يستغل من تطوير البحث العلمي بصفة عامة في المجتمع الإسلامي. سؤال يعني يتعلق، هل هناك خارطة طريق من أجل يعني هل هناك خارطة طريق من أجل توحيد الرؤى للدول الإسلامية من أجل النهوض في هذا المجال بشكل جماعي حتى يعني تكون هناك استفادة بالنسبة لجميع الدول الإسلامية؟ وشكرا.
السلام عليكم. بكل تأكيد هناك رؤى، لكن حتى الآن لم تأتي على أرض الواقع. الرؤى تنطلق من تعاون وتكاتف الدول الإسلامية تحت منظمة العالم الإسلامي، وأيضا هناك على مستوى المايكرو مجموعة الدول العربية للتعاون الفضائي هي باكورة للانطلاقة إن شاء الله إلى تأسيس وكالة فضاء على مستوى العالم الإسلامي للاستفادة من الخبرات الموجودة على المستوى العالم الإسلامي بشكل كامل. الجميع يعلم أنه الفضاء تكلفته عالية جدا، لا تستطيع دولة بحد ذاتها أن تنفذ كافة المشاريع، تعتمد اعتماد كلي على التعاونات الدولية. متى ما كان هناك رؤية من القيادة الإسلامية، أعتقد أن وكالات الفضاء في الدول الإسلامية قادرة على التعاون وتحديد خارطة طريق للدول العالم الإسلامية. وأيضا انطلقت المجموعة العربية للتعاون الفضائي انطلاقة جيدة، وأعتقد أنها راح تكون هي باكورة لوكالة فضاء على مستوى العالم الإسلامي وتحديد الرؤية بشكل عام. شكرا.
Thank you very much. We have the UAE, the international department head, Mr. Nasser. He wants to comment your question, so I give the floor.
شكرا جزيلا وشكرا جزيلا على السؤال من الأخ الكريم. ويمكن إضافة بسيطة بس على ما تفضل به الأستاذ ماجد أيضا من الهيئة السعودية للفضاء. أنا أعتقد أن من الأهمية بمكان اليوم توحيد المواقف ما بين المجموعات الإقليمية والدولية. ذكرت الأستاذ ماجد موضوع المجموعة العربية للتعاون الفضائي. نعم صحيح، اليوم المجموعة العربية مكونة من 14 دولة عربية في مظلة الجامعة العربية، متحدة مع بعضها البعض، برامجها الفضائية بشكل جماعي. ولكن أعتقد المهم في الخطوات القادمة عملية المشاركة، عملية بناء العلاقات، بناء الشراكات ما بين المجموعة العربية والمجموعات الأخرى. اليوم نحن في مظلة الاتحاد الدول الإسلامية في هذه المنظمة الطيبة والعريقة. أعتقد محتاجين كذلك نفعل هذا الدور، محتاجين كذلك نفعل هذا الدور العربي والإسلامي مع الدول الأخرى أو المناطق الجغرافية الأخرى. هناك مناطق جغرافية لها أيضا مجموعات عمل تتحد فيما بينها في مجال الفضاء، المجموعات الأوروبية، المجموعات الأمريكية، المجموعات الآسيوية، أبرساف وغيرها. فأعتقد محتاجين فعلا في الخطوات القادمة أن نزيد ونفعل هذه الخطوات التشاركية ما بين مجموعات الدول العربية والإسلامية وأيضا المجموعات الإقليمية الأخرى. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nasser. I have one question for Chairman of Bangladesh Space Agency. I want to have just a simple question from you, Chairman Mizanur Rahman, that how do you think that in developing countries, that our graduates that can be acquainted with this fast-moving science, what we should do, our developing countries, to cooperate with our developed countries? What is needed? What do you think that it should be really invested in that particular direction?
Thank you, sir, for your nice, and I think it's a very important questions. Actually, we know that in the space science technology field, it is a huge technical people-oriented, also the very large amount of investment related. But what can we do? Those we have no that capabilities, we have no fund to spend mass in this field, and we have no or less capable people that is expert from this field. So we cannot sit idle. We cannot see we as undone. So we have to make collaboration and cooperation between us. So why we are here, I think that is very important. And I again thanks ICESCO to make this forum a successful one. So here is like a forum, where can we make our step go ahead, and from far beyond, once we make our capabilities, and we also attract investment, and we also invest more in this science. Otherwise, human future is a global. It is not a single nation headache or not a single person headache. It is a global in nature, and also is the global in, global action is needed. As we know that climate change, for example, space science play a vital role to combat, to protect the climate. This vulnerable Earth can make a congenial for the future generation. We have to just collaborate now. We have no moment to left or no moment to waste. So we make our collaboration, we make our cooperation together, and we go far beyond. Then such way we can make this globe, make the Earth a living congenial for the future generation. So I think we have to, what we have, small or large or no, but together we are very efficient. I think together we are very big enough to combat this fight and to go far beyond at our present position. So here collaboration and cooperation is must. So I like to thank you again, ICESCO, and also my friends from other different space agency, UAE, Saudi Space Agency, Azercosmos, and other also who are here, who are connected here, those. Actually, we can sit together, we can talk together, and we can make our better future together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for the answer. I would say thank you very much. Your Excellency, would you like to comment on the Division on Science and Technology of ICESCO? Mike. He brings.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. في منظمة العالم الإسلامي للتربية والعلوم والثقافة، وإن أتت التربية والعلوم والثقافة مجتمعة، إلا أنه يجب علينا أن نكون سباقين في كثير من الأمور، وبالأخص في العلوم. والفضاء أحد علوم المستقبل التي يجب علينا أن نشارك فيها وأن نستكشف ما بها من مزايا. لا يمكن أن تعرف وأن تتحكم وأن تسيطر على ما يدور في هذا الكوكب إن لم تنظر إليه بمرآة من خارجه. بمعنى عندما تشاهد كوكب الأرض من الفضاء تستطيع أن تتحكم في أمور كثيرة، ليس فقط ما يتعلق في الفيضانات وما إلى ذلك، ولكن أيضا على مستوى الزراعة وعلى مستوى التقنية وعلى مستوى الاتصالات وأشياء كثيرة جدا. ما أريد أن أقول هنا أن منظمة العالم الإسلامي للتربية والعلوم والثقافة أخذت على عاتقها أن تستشرف المستقبل، ولذلك أنشأنا مركز لاستشراف المستقبل. ومن ضمن الأمور الأساسية هي علوم الفضاء، التي نرى وللأسف بأن عدد بسيط من أعضاء أو الأعضاء في منظمة العالم الإسلامي استثمرت في الفضاء فأنشأت مؤسسات للفضاء. ما نريده حقيقة هو أن نقول لجميع الدول بأنه لا حان الوقت للاستثمار في الفضاء. قد يتساءل آخر ويقول: هل يجب علينا أن نستثمر في الفضاء في الوقت الذي بلداننا وشعوبنا تموت جوعا؟ وأقول نعم، قد يكون العلاج للتصحر والحلول للمشاكل الكثيرة سواء كانت فيضانات أو غيرها يأتي من تدارسنا وفهمنا لكوكب الأرض من خلال الفضاء. أريد أن أذكر أيضا بأن هناك علماء كبار أخذوا أماكنهم في كثير من مؤسسات الفضائية الدولية وهم من دول العالم الإسلامي. هؤلاء أيضا يجب وواجب عليهم أن يعطوا دولهم بعض الشيء ليدربوا ويعلموا أبنائهم وبناتهم في هذا العلم. منظمة الإيسيسكو تريد أن ترسل رسائل بسيطة جدا بأن علوم الفضاء هي المستقبل، وما لم نغور في هذا المستقبل قد تتأخر كثير من الدول. كنت في حديث مع الزملاء هذا الصباح نتحدث عن محو الأمية والأمية في القراءة والكتابة، لكن ما نراه في المستقبل بأن الأمية ستكون في علوم الفضاء، في الذكاء الاصطناعي، في البيانات الكبيرة. وهذا ما يجب، وهذا الدور الكبير الذي أن تلعبه منظمة كمنظمة الإيسيسكو. شكرا لكم.